So welcome to
What?
another, wait. Thought you were prepared, Chris.
Welcome aboard, all you wonderful groomers, pet stylists, and canine cosmetologists. You found the Traveling Groomers podcast, where we discuss lessons learned from mobile and house call grooming. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Bear Anthony. Any moment now, we'll be joined by my co-host and friend, retired mobile groomer and educator extraordinaire, Mary Aquendo, and very likely a special guest to help us chat about all things grooming, grooming industry related, and just plain fun digressions that I will totally wrangle back to topic. Grab those travel mugs and climb aboard to see where today's topic will bring us. Let's roll.
Okay, so
Okay. I would like to point out,
yes.
in case I don't feel like editing out you being snarky, Miss Snarky Pants, I was prepared just because you barreled ahead and started talking before I could go, wait, pause. Remember, we have to do it differently now.
Well, it's still a little bit too new and the habit has not been developed yet.
That is true. That is true.
Okay, so we'll get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so what episode number is this, Chris?
Oh, wow. I also told you I was mostly prepared because I was trying to do 20 things at once. Ladies and gents, welcome to episode number 197, recorded on January 18th, and will be airing on, I want to say, February 1st, which is my mother's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. Not that she listens.
Well, happy birthday, Mom.
Ahem.
Okay, so I think what I wanted to talk about today is all about the different like in-person educational opportunities that are out there. There are different types, for all different types of people because, we're not all pigeonholed into the same little pigeonhole, correct? Correct, Chris?
Correct, Mary.
Okay.
Everybody's different. Everybody learns different.
Yeah. And different things appeal to people, okay, to different people.
Mhm.
So, I mean, the obvious thing to start talking about, of course, is the live shows, the live conferences held throughout the country, usually at convention centers, but not always. Sometimes they're held in like hotel ballrooms and, that sort of good stuff. But it's a place you travel to, right? They tend to be very well attended, meaning there's lots of people there, right? And there's lots of different types of classes being offered. I mean, there's literally, because it's an in-person thing, there's like grooming demos, there's business classes, there's sanitation classes, there's behavior and handling classes, creative grooming. I mean, there's just, they pull in a lot of different types of speakers and it pulls in a lot of people. So because of that, they tend to be very high energy. There's also vendors there too.
Yes.
Right. So the two shows that I would go to every single year was Intergroom in April and then Groom Expo in September. The reason I specifically went to those two shows, they were 6 months apart. It was awesome. Would go to one show, buy supplies for 6 months, and then go to the next show and buy supplies again for another 6 months. And then I wouldn't have to like pay for shipping. I would get the show specials.
Get your stuff sharpened. That would be and the timing was perfect. It was Hershey was right before the holiday rush.
Mm-hmm.
And then usually my stuff would last until Intergroom, barring like a really bad holiday rush, dropping a shear, but I tended to have extra blades and stuff. So
yeah. I mean, I'm retired more than 3 years and I have a full set of shears.
Okay.
Blades and clippers and I did sell the bulk of it, but I still have a full set. Oh, wait.
All right. Oh, hello, Pooh Bear. Who? Yeah, he can't hear me. He's focused on Ernesto.
He's focused on Ernesto. attempting to open up my office door.
Mm, foolish mortal. Now, I do have a very important question. You've been retired for 3 years now. You moved across the country. Are you still finding 10 blades in random places? Or is that just me?
That's probably you, because don't forget, I packed up everything and moved.
I technically moved.
Yeah, but you didn't retire.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
before I left Connecticut, I sold a lot of equipment. And then I came out here and I'm like, why do I still have all this equipment? I need just a set on the off chance, Chris, the off chance I get a dog that requires a haircut that I'm not set to go, screw this. I need to make an appointment somewhere and drop my dog off.
Well, may I highly recommend a standard poodle?
No. No.
They're so, I get it now, Mary. They're such the fun dogs. Now they're also 100% if you're retired. Someone else, please groom this dog.
Seriously. And us and I were watching Westminster on TV, and he's looking at all the poodles and what he called the Trojan clip.
Trojan poo.
Okay. Now, again, getting back to the live stream we had, well, now a couple of weeks ago, about the importance of terminology. All right. I knew what he was talking about only because it was physically, I could see what he was talking about. But if somebody else,
Because of the crest. I get it. I get it.
Because you know what? That's really awesome looking. We should get a standard poodle and make him look just like that. And so then up and I walked over to the kitchen where I kept like spare combs and brushes. And I pulled out a comb and I pulled out a brush. And I told him, if we have a standard poodle, all right, he will either be totally naked or you're going to comb and brush him. And let me show you how to do that. I never heard a peep out of him since then about wanting a standard poodle.
Now, see, versus my husband, who turned and looked at me and went, "You're not doing that to my boy, right?" Looked at the show cut, the continental trim, not the Trojan spoo, because it's a spoo, because it's this. Now in my head, I'm gonna hear that.
Okay, just know that Ernesto came up with that term. So, and listen, I fully
I
apologize.
can't look him in the face now.
I fully apologize to any groomer who, in 5 years down the line, posts something on program saying, "What the hell is a Trojan clip?"
No, guys, it's a joke. Don't
It's a
call
joke.
it that. Don't call it that to customers. We'll find you. We'll find you and smack you.
Okay, so anyway, so where were we? Trade shows. In-person live trade shows. All right. And the fact
Yes.
that I have way too much equipment. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I know where we got from there, from there to here. Okay.
You
Or from-
do? Do you know?
Yeah. The train of thought is there. I got it. I don't know if anyone else makes sense of it, but I know how we got here. Okay.
Okay. One of us does.
So, so that's what really, I mean, so in-person trade show. Now, of course, the con side of trade shows is that they are really busy. There is a lot of people. And if you're not careful, if you're not careful, you could spend way more money than you think you're going to spend. Right. And then there's always that if you're not prepared, the safety issue. Okay.
Yes. And can I just say regarding spending way more money than you think you're going to spend?
Okay.
I don't regret it because I made an impulse purchase of the Dyma strippers, those stripping knives.
Right.
And I didn't fully realize how much they were. And I blew my entire budget for the weekend.
Wow.
on 2 stripping knives. Now, they're 100% freaking worth it. They're amazing, and I use them. I use them today, but uh, I yeah, I was not planning for that.
All right.
Still love it.
Just a couple real tips though, like before I would go to a trade show, the things I had to have. There was no
Mhm.
doubt that I had to have these things. I'd pre-order, pay for them, and then at the trade show, my bag was sitting there waiting, and I would just say, "Hey, thanks," and grab it and go. And then
Especially shampoo. That's great, especially shampoo, because a lot of the really popular stuff will sell out.
yes, so doing that is not only time saver, and then you're not panicked over what can I use in its place. But then being as I wasn't shopping for the regular stuff, the stuff that I needed, and I was able to shop for things that, not necessarily were on my shopping list. Hence the problem.
Things you did, and that's the thing, because they come up with new things every year. You almost have to set aside like $100 or so or more, a minimum, almost $100, just for, I didn't know I needed this because I didn't know it existed.
Yeah. All right. So having a budget of I might need this or I might want this. And sometimes it's a want.
Mhm.
Okay. And sometimes it's not a want. You do need it. All right.
I did need those
changes.
stripping knives. I did
Equipment
need them.
changes, it gets better, it gets improved. So much of our equipment has groomer input in it.
Yeah.
So it makes new products coming out because one groomer said, hey, I think this would be better, and gets it together somehow. And then you look at it, you go, wow, yeah, they're correct. I need this.
Mhm.
So that's what the trade shows. But like I said, high energy. If you don't like being around a lot of people, if you find that makes your anxiety go through the roof, then it can be difficult for you. And maybe that's not what you want to do. Right. But there are smaller trade shows. All right. So you have the big shows, and the big shows are going to be groomed, Atlanta Pet Fair. Okay. Super Zoo, Groom Expo in Hershey. Those
Groom
are
Expo
big.
West.
I haven't been there. You've been there. That's a larger show.
That is a larger show. It's different than Hershey. It's not quite as big as Hershey because nothing is fully Groom Expo, but not every year, but often you'll have more international visitors. Like we'll get at Groom Expo West, we'll get a lot of the Asian contingent
Okay.
from their grooming schools, and from from the western parts of Canada, versus Groom Expo, regular Groom Expo, we do get from Canada and some international, but
All right. And then there are smaller shows. There's the Northwest Show in Tacoma. I'm just so excited for you guys that they moved the New England show. There's a Teton show now, which is small. I think
yes,
some of the Houston shows are really small. Fun in the Sun is pretty small, isn't it?
I haven't been to Fun in the Sun.
Barkley
Oh,
just took it over.
I know. So now I'm like, am I gonna be going to Fun in the Sun? I have mixed feelings about that.
Okay, now this is my feelings on it. This guy, Jeff, right, who owned it, is older. He's an older gentleman. He may want to retire. But this is for people saying, well, why did he sell?
No.
Because he wants to retire. But anyway, go ahead.
That's not my mixed feelings. If someone who is of retirement age has built a successful business and they sell it, whether they sell it to another small business or they sell it to a larger corporation, I have no shade. They have built their business. They want to retire. Good on them. I'm proud that they've built something that they can sell. My mixed feelings is 110% for selfish reasons.
Okay.
And those are because it was a smaller show, Evolution didn't need me. So while it was a fun show to go to because it's near Disney, I believe, and there's stuff to do in the area, it was the last show of the year. And it came after New England. So after New England and after traveling all year long, I was a little bit showed out. So now I'm like, oh, is it going to be bigger? Which is great for the area and the community, but also like, am I going to want to go now? Am I going to want to go? Am I going to have to go? Am I going to be up for going? All the mixed feelings and questions. Like a part of me is like, yeah. Another part of me is like, oh, Jesus, I'm so tired.
But the shows are held where there's something to do.
Yes.
Okay. So there's that. Like I'm going to Pasadena and so I'm coming in the day before and I'm going to the botanical gardens with Denise Thoreau.
Fun.
Okay. So there's something to do that it's not just for works, get a little culture, people. Go to a museum, go to the botanical gardens, go someplace and learn something.
I've been through going to conventions. I've been to the Field Museum in Chicago. I've been to the Getty. We went to the La Brea Tar Pits. I've gotten a chance to see, because I take that extra time beforehand and I make it a point to go to museums and get that culture, do something I wouldn't normally be able to do because I wouldn't be there.
Yeah. So, so that's what are the pros and cons of a conference. Okay. So, shall we take the first commercial?
We should take our first commercial break. I had it up there and then it's there we go.
Everything else in the world seems to have changed. Positive Ed has too, but for the better. Online learning is here to stay, and Positive Educational Training has brought the trade show to you with Summit memberships. For one monthly price of $97, you get 6 to 10 hours of content streamed live to your sofa, or let's be honest, grooming table. Forgot to attend live? No problem. You have 6.
What you do there with my commercial, Chris?
Sorry, I was trying to see if I could do two things at once, and the answer was no. I will, what we call, fix this in post. Let's try that again.
Everything else in the world seems to have changed. Positive Ed has too,
Fine,
but for the
Chris.
better. Online learning is here to stay, and
You're gonna
Positive
end it?
Educational Training has brought the trade show to you with Summit memberships. For one monthly price of $97. Everything else in the world seems to have changed. Positive Ed.
Fine, I guess what you're saying is I'll completely fix that in post and edit all that out.
Yes, do that. And I'm going to need the video edited now too.
I'll do that too.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay, so then there's another type of live, and that's like simply local classes. All right. Sometimes a group of local groomers get together and they have somebody of name come in and teach a class there. All right. So there's a lot that do that. There's a lot that come in and do like breed demonstrations. I'm going to just throw a couple of names out there. Helen Schaefer. I don't think Pina travels. I think you travel to Pina.
Mindy Dinwiddie travels.
Mindy Dinwiddie.
She will travel. I know Olga travels.
Okay. And I'm sure we can run down the list of groom team, and I'm sure all of them travel to do breed demos. Okay. And then there's Pet First Aid. I mean, there are instructors. I don't travel too much for that anymore, but there's
a little.
I travel a little bit, you know. But there's, other instructors who will. Stephanie Calhoun, who just opened up her grooming school, travels for first aid. And there's also then like regional areas, like a local grooming school, who will open up their doors for like an instructor to come in and teach something that's not necessarily part of the curriculum, but available to other people who want to come, who either want to teach or suggestions. So you have like local things, local schools, or a group of groomers. You know what? Get together and set something up, and have somebody come in and do some smaller classes that are just for you guys.
Mhm. Which is that's kind of fun, because that is generally also a way to either really, really team build your salon. Like
Mhm.
if you have enough where it's just for your salon that you can bring somebody, and that will set your people apart and give you an edge. Or a great way to get to know local groomers, because
Yeah.
then if you host something and you open it up, it's usually groomers within some kind of driving distance. So you get to know a little bit. Usually on classes like that, there's not as much time for networking.
But you know what? There's lunchtime. They're going to
But
break.
there's
lunch.
yes. There's
So-
there's not as much as, say, a retreat, which is, I think, where
Well,
you
we're
were
going to get to
going
that.
with this.
We'll get to
there.
that. We'll get to that. Don't worry about that. But it's good to learn information about other area groups and find out what it is they like to do. I do not hand strip, and if somebody wanted hand stripping, I would have to refer that out to somebody. Okay. I had a client that had spinones, and they were not being hand stripped because they weren't being shown. But before I left, the where they boarded the dogs, all right,
Mhm.
she was a trainer, and she wanted to start hand stripping those dogs, and she needed to learn how to do it. But because I knew somebody, I was able to send her their way to learn how to hand strip, because I wasn't going to do it. There was like no dollar amount that I was going to hand strip. That was for somebody else. But if I did not know who the other area groomers were, I would not have known who to send her to.
Yeah. Oh, if you see me making a face, which you do, it's because I'm Googling something for our topic. Guys, just to let you in on a little behind the scenes, I'm sure this will surprise no one if you're a regular listener, that every so often, somewhere around 2 hours before we record, somewhere that day, somewhere on Wednesday, I'll be like, hey, Mary, do we have a topic tonight?
And I'm like, I don't know. What are we going to talk about?
And sometimes we will figure it out, and sometimes
We
we
just
won't.
fly by the seat of our pants.
I see horses. Okay, sorry.
Okay,
We'll
and
talk about
if
that.
anyone sees me making a face, so Anessa tried to come in the room, got Pooh all worked up, and he's in my sweatshirt, and now he's all gassy.
You killed me.
Very contained area.
Oh.
And fortunately for him, when I bought this one, I bought multiples. So I have a couple of these. So this will be going into the wash tonight.
So he's hotboxing you, is basically.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
hotbox. Is it more of a hot box or more of a Dutch oven? Your head's not under the covers.
Thank God. Okay. Because I'm not even sticking my face down there to take a look at him. So anyway, so I guess on that note, do we want to take another commercial break?
Yeah,
Who's ever
yeah.
second?
There we go.
Education, because we either were or will be. Join the Andis World Class Education Team each month for live interactive virtual classes. You'll learn new and trending styles, as well as tips and tricks from some of the best groomers in the industry. Whether you're looking for basic skills, trending styles, advanced techniques, or even just ways to spark your creativity, the new Andis Grooming Education site is your source for finding what you need to create your way for success. Try new techniques, learn from the pros, and grow your confidence today at andis.com/groomer education. Traveling Groomer podcast listeners, hey, that's you, can get 25% off your first course today with the code VEGROOMING at checkout on andis.com/groomer education.
Okay, and actually just backtracking just a little bit to the trade shows. The big companies such as Andis has their, I think Andis is called Andis Educators, or do they have
Yes.
another name?
It's the Andis educators. Are you talking about their team of groomers who are
Yes.
educators and teachers? Yes, it's the
Right.
Andis educators.
And they go to the trade shows and they do demos at various booths and stuff like that. And that's totally free.
Mhm.
So if you're on a budget and you don't want to take and pay for classes, hang out at the booths and see. Usually they have like a little board up there with the times and who they have coming in to teach.
Excellent.
Okay.
Between that and okay, as much as I push the classes and I love the classes, and yes, you should take some. If you are broke, just go. There's still so much you can learn just by attending, by going to the free demos, by sitting and watching the grooming competitions. Because how many times do we see pretty cockers in our day-to-day grooming? I know I didn't. I saw the old warty, greasy cockers.
Yeah, I was
So-
amazed when I saw a beautifully bred, well-groomed cocker for the very first time. And no, it was not from any of my clients.
Oh, honestly, I think the first time I saw this was not even at a show, at a grooming show. It was a dog show. It took me a minute to even click what kind of dog it was. Like I didn't connect that beautiful cocker with the stuff I saw in my salon. Like a different breed. Anyway.
Okay. And then there's events put on by distributors. Right. So Show Seasons has, I think, the Thursday before Groomed, they do their tent sale. And they have a couple people come in and they teach some classes there. All right. I know I have seen them through, I know Ryan's has put on some, I know Cherrybrook has. So if you have a local distributor close to you,
Mhm.
see if they're going to put on like one of their open houses and have people come in. I did a pet first aid class at Cascade Grooming Supplies.
And even if you are not sure, go to your local place and ask. If you want a pest first aid and like a teacher, ask.
Yeah, because while it wasn't an open house, what happened is that he gave, specials to the people who attended. And because he's distributor, all the attendees of that class got swag bags. Because
Ooh.
because he has connections with the distributors. Hey, I'm doing an event here. I need 15 swag bags. All right. And they're like, yeah, we'll give you this. We'll give you
Nice.
that. So if you have a local distributor, ask if they would host something there. Okay. And see what comes up.
Because then the distributor knows that there is a definite interest.
Yes. Okay.
So,
I think the next thing I want to discuss is retreats. Okay.
Mhm.
So Chris and I have been wanting to do a retreat for a really, really long time. And I'm going to tell you exactly what stopped me from like really pursuing it. Okay.
Like a solid 2 years we've been talking about it.
Solid 2 years we've been talking about it. It's I didn't want to host it at an Airbnb. I didn't. Okay. The problem, and this is problems that I've seen, is that you're sharing a house, possibly sharing a bedroom, and definitely sharing bathrooms with people you don't know. That's a problem. That's a problem for me.
It's
And
also a lot of work, and depending on the Airbnb, look, you're looking at putting anywhere from 6 to 10 women and maybe 2 bathrooms.
Yeah. And then you're responsible for cleanup afterwards.
Yeah. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And then actually like cooking and stuff there. Yeah, it's a lot of work. And I think that takes away from what you're there for. Now, it's different if you're there for like a wellness type of retreat and you want to do like healthy cooking and stuff like that. Yeah. I get that. But there's
Because-
still,
Yeah, because if you're doing the whole wellness thing, then probably one of the people throwing the retreat is some type of cook or chef, and it's demos and it's cooking with, and it's part of the reason you're there.
part of the reason that you're there. Okay. But I think being at an Airbnb takes away for the reason that you're there for a retreat, and you're there for a reason. Okay. And if what your reason is, okay, that you're really there for a college frat party, then that's but that's a valid reason for it. If that is what you are looking for. Okay. Different venues, different educational opportunities are going to attract different people.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're going someplace and your intention is to, take a couple classes, but you're really there to party, that's a different retreat. That's a different mindset. Okay.
That's honestly, I hate to say it, but that's more of your smaller conventions. Because then you have, I don't know, because then you have the networking events and the hotel bar, and
yeah, they all have the parties and stuff like that. And but the parties that are at a very, very specific time. They're in the evening. Okay. And I generally don't go to them. I might like, hey, see my face is here, but you know what? I've been here a whole 2 minutes. I need to leave. Okay. But if that's not what you're there for, then that's not going to appeal to you. So there should be another option. All right. And I'm actually calling it the unretreats. Okay. And I want, and it's old school. So I'm not like creating something new. I think really what I'm doing is just going old school and what the retreats were. Right. They were specific. Go ahead, Chris.
I think they still are.
It's
But tell me what because I did some mild Googling. I'm sorry for sounding like one of those asshats who just Googled something for 5 minutes and now she knows like everything about it.
Now you're an expert.
Apologies. I'm questioning.
I think there's in certain specific industries, yeah, there is. But let me tell you something, okay? If you've ever been to a retreat that's been hosted by an MLM company, the same place you're at, okay? I've been at resorts where they're being held.
Yeah.
And there are some really poorly behaved people there.
You mean frat party-esque people?
No, they would make the frat parties look pretty tame.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. And I think that also, so there's people there, and my daughter who does like Pampered Chef and stuff like that, she goes to them and she's going there for that particular reason. So it's not like something, she's going there with some friends, she's having a good time. yeah, she's gonna, yeah, maybe she'll show up for the workshops and stuff like that. That's not what she's there for.
Although I think there is still a lot of the retreat that's more, a little more woo-woo. It's not so much the corporate, it's the connecting. And yes, there's some educational things, but you're there to relax.
But
You are-
that there's still a point, there is an underlying theme to what it is
Yes.
that is there. And the retreat is following the theme,
Mhm.
okay? And that's what I want to do. I want retreat, I want them to have a theme, all right? So like, for example, all right, I would very much like to hold it at a resort, okay? Because there's lots of things to do, right? But it's still, I want it to be there for a reason, okay? So I think it's the attracting the people who are there for a reason, okay? So like, for example, right? So if I'm hold one here in the Squim area, where the morning would be, we're working on something as a group, getting it done, because that's what it's supposed to be. And then in the afternoon, go do something. All right. I would love to set it up during one of the 1,000 festivals. A fair, Squim is like the land of the festival. Always some
Ooh.
festival going. Yeah, seriously. You know, there's a lavender festival. There's what they call the irrigation festival. There's, oh my God, there's so many festivals. So many festivals.
I
And how
also
nice would
want-
it be to sit on a table, work on something together, and then head out and hit a festival or do something else, okay? But there's a theme to it. And then you know what? Afterwards, you're on your own. I'm not hosting I'm not hosting a kegger, okay?
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Google Bond Ranch Retreat.
Hold on. Bond
It's-
Ranch
Yes,
Retreat.
it's in Squim, so you wouldn't have to travel.
Woo! Okay, this is in Squim. Let me see, where is this place? It's on Hooker Road in Squim.
All I
Mm.
want to know is if they have horses. They call themselves a ranch, so they better fucking have horses or I will rampage. Because
I see, I can go check this place out. Okay, so, rooms. You see, this is now, okay, this is not an Airbnb, so this is nice. This is more like a bed and breakfast, it looks
this
like.
is more like, yes, something that's more like a bed and breakfast.
So I would like not be responsible for keeping your room clean. All right, at the ranch.
I don't see, they call their lounge the Snuggery. What the hell? Because it's snug, it's cute. All
Okay,
right, this is
their website is not the greatest, okay?
yeah. You need to go scope this place out,
I need to go scope this place out.
because while I love that you don't have to travel, if I'm going to be going cross country with you and helping host this retreat, I might require horses. I'm not a horse person. We can get Susie. I think
I mean, the grounds are really.
it's really
Wait, hold on a
pretty.
second. Do I know this place? I know this place. They have a restaurant, I think, here. Or
Ah,
I'm gonna go check this out,
okay.
because this might be a really good location. Okay. I'm not seeing horses here either.
Yeah.
And it looks like they only have 1, 2, 3,
Six rooms.
6 rooms. And it's fine because I don't need to stay here because I literally live down the road. I'll just be there in the morning with bells on going, come on, guys, get up.
And I will be just staring at the mountains with a cup of coffee in my Snuggie pajamas going, I'm up, I'm just here. And it's
Okay,
awesome.
you know what? Actually, this I'm gonna go check that out. I gotta put that on my to-do list.
You're welcome. By the way, guys,
Google is an
sorry.
awesome thing. You see, but that's what it is that I am talking about. All right. So yeah, we hold a mobile grooming retreat there. Okay. And the whole thing is mobile grooming. All right. You know, the trials and the tribulations, how to set things up, scheduling, pricing. I mean, where you see it's down and dirty, and you work on policies and procedures. So it's not seminars, so to speak. Am I making myself?
Right. Yeah, it's smaller groups. It's not, you're not sitting there being talked at. There's still an expert. There's still someone who's guiding it and giving the quote unquote class, but it's more like a circle where you're learning together. Like instead of a class where here's what are good policy and procedures, here's some forms, here's some this, it's let's all sit down and work on your policy and procedures. Let's handle your things. We'll work on it together. It's
Okay.
more of a, there's also bonding. There's really getting to know, because you get to know those people well.
So I will check out the facilities and see if it's as nice as the pictures are on the website.
Nice. And there are also a lot of other ranch retreats in Washington.
I've checked out a couple and some of them are not exactly,
No,
okay.
not awesome.
Not as awesome as they make it out to be, but I will have to check out. This one would be fine because it's Hooker Road is like in between Port Angeles and Squim. So from my house, it is probably about 15 minutes.
And I am, yeah, I'm still Googling places in Washington, but I am not looking at places that are specifically religious retreats, because I want to be inclusive.
Yeah.
The grooming community has a very wide array of faiths and spiritualities, and I would not want to make anyone uncomfortable.
So I wonder if they
Me.
have like a contact us form. They got a phone number. I will call them tomorrow, see if I can schedule a tour.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
we're getting things done. Let's take
getting
another.
things done. We're going to take another commercial break, and I'm just going to sit here and sip my sparkly water in smug satisfaction of having put something on Mary's to-do list.
As a house call groomer, the idea of van and generator maintenance had kept me out of one for years. But Hanby Engineering and Design has been making mobile grooming vans for 20 years now and has thought of that. No generator to maintain, repair, and replace. No propane to fill or worry about running out in the middle of winter. Hanby vans have the lowest operating costs out there. I know I'm sold, but check out their latest innovations for yourself at hanby.com.
Okay. So I think we've covered all of the like in-person type things that you can do. Okay, should move on to the topic.
There was another topic. Yeah, you said retreats was our topic.
Well, okay, so I think we covered it well enough, don't you think?
I think we did. I think we did. We didn't really fully go into that this is a way to have a vacation.
Okay.
It's closer to the cruises. It's closer to the
Oh,
grooming
yeah,
cruises,
actually, that's another one I want to talk about.
but it's less people-y,
Okay,
because the grooming cruises are cruise ships are very crowded. There's a lot of people. So if large crowds give you the absolute heebie-jeebie screaming willies. Maybe not. I still love cruising, but
Okay, so I've never been on a cruise. I'm going on my first cruise in May. And I've fought tooth and nail going on a cruise, be honest. Until the one cruise I would go on, I always said I would go on, would be the one to Alaska.
Mhm.
So then my daughter goes, hey, let's do a cruise to Alaska. And then, you can't say no because now you're called out. Okay.
Yes. My two pieces of advice before you go on the cruise is one, go to your doctor, say, I'm going on a cruise and I have no idea if I'm going to get seasick or not. Can I get those little motion patches that go behind your ear?
Got that.
What was that?
I already got them.
Okay. Definitely carry those with you because you never know. And don't bring tight fitting clothes. Lots of elastic.
This is
waistbands.
Alaska in first week of May. We're not going to be talking. There'll be no bathing suits. Let's put it that way. There'll be
No. I don't mean bathing suits. I mean, don't bring the jeans that you have to lie down to zip because there is food out the wazoo on
Yeah.
cruises. Food. You're gonna put on a pound or two. Or 5.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually now trying to get a little bit into shape before I go so that expected weight gain will be accounted for. But anyway, yes. So part of the reason that I was hesitant to go on a cruise is because, every once in a while you hear about a cruise being docked and no one being let off because there's like Legionnaire's disease or something stupid like that.
You haven't heard about that in forever. That almost never happens. Now it's COVID. No,
Now
just
COVID.
no, just no, they're actually 2020 was bad for cruise ships. Now that we have a little more of a handle on it, there's lots of testing. There's lots of testing before you get on, and there's very strict policies in place for after you get on.
Okay, so I've been watching like hundreds of like cruise videos on YouTube.
Mhm.
You just get totally sucked down the rabbit hole. So I think I'm pretty well prepped to go do a cruise. Actually, am looking fairly excited to go do it. Because one of the things is that, of course, you got to pay for all of this like way in advance. So the entire cruise is already paid for. I'm not going to May. I've also like now paying for like excursions. So basically, other than like souvenirs and stuff, okay, once we actually sail, shouldn't need a whole lot of money. And yes, I did purchase the spa, they call it the thermal spa suite. Has you're gonna be jealous, Chris. It has salt
Oh.
rooms.
Oh, see, when I went, they didn't have salt rooms, but definitely the thermal spa suites and those things. Oh, God damn it. Now I'm going to cruise again. See what you've done.
So yeah, I purchased that. That was like the second I was able to purchase, because somebody had said, so sometimes they sell out. Oh yeah, it was not going to sell out. I was going to make sure that I purchased it the earliest I could purchase it, and which is already done. And if it sells out, somebody else waited till last minute, it's not my problem, because I have access to the thermal suite.
Did you look at the beverage packages?
Yeah, you see, now the thing is, neither me nor my husband really drink. So we're not doing the alcohol. No, we got the soda package.
I was going to say the soda package comes with, because depending on the cruise lines, there's different beverage packages. The alcohol package, as much as I enjoy to drink, as much as I enjoy drinking, I did the math and I went, I can't drink that much to make it affordable, like to make it to break even. I would die. I just don't. But there was the soda and coffee package where you get all the specialty coffees and teas you want. So then I was like, oh, I'll have 3 lattes a day. No problem. Fresh juice, absolutely.
Yeah, so here's the problem.
Uh-huh.
Their specialty teas
Yeah.
are not going to be the teas. I'm going to be like, I paid extra for this.
Yeah, that's also true. That's also true. You're a
I
tea
will
snob.
still bring my tea and just go and get hot water.
By the way,
Yes.
they're not paying me to say this, but they should. D&T, a D&D themed tea company, is doing their second thing on Kickstarter. They just launched another project on Kickstarter that got fully funded in like a half an hour.
Wow.
They are something insane. Like I just went on last night going, oh yeah, that went live yesterday. Da, 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 da. Oh, they're at double their goal. Okay. And I really did enjoy their tea a lot. So go check out their Kickstarter, D&T.
See, send me if you have the link for it, send me the link
I
for it.
do. I do.
Thanks.
I will send that to you because they 100% emailed me. Mhm. But shall we take our 4th commercial break, because we went a while in the beginning without one, so now we got to get 2 more in. I say we go for it.
So by now, you know how much I love my Evolution shears. They're the only shears I use. Check out all the options, including customizable non-swivels, at evolutionshears.com and give Abby a shout with any questions you might have. Traveling Groomers listeners get $10 off and free shipping with the code ON THE ROAD, all one word. So check them out today. Your hands will thank you.
So I guess what the point of this is that there are so many different ways to get live education. You really have to look around, see what it is you really want out of it.
Yeah. What you're looking for. And it's okay to need more than one.
Yeah, it's fine, because here's the thing. I like the trade shows. I love going to trade shows. I really do. Okay. I like the big ones. I like the little ones. I think there's something to be had at either one of them. I will always go and do local in-person type things, something on a smaller, more regional things, possibly with like distributors. All right. And I do like the idea of a smaller, more personalized retreat where there's a focus on it. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And you know what, if really what you're looking for is to go out and have fun with your friends, that's fine too, because you know what, there's something there for you as well too. All of them.
Actually, yes. If you just want to mostly go out and have fun with your friends, you can do that on different levels.
Yes.
On all of them.
Yeah.
The grooming cruise, the conventions, the conventions, the small conventions, the retreats.
Yes. So however you envision your time, there should be something available for you.
Yeah. And am I a weirdo that if I go on a retreat, I want to do what seems like diametrically opposed? I want both a pedicure and to go horseback riding. Like I want both of these things.
Okay.
I want nature and hiking and pamper me and just relax.
Yeah, again, now here's it depends on for me, depends on what the focus of the retreat is. Okay. But there should be downtime, and at a place where there is something to
Activities.
where there's activities and something to do. And this is a beautiful part of the country. I have not made it all the way over to it yet, only because I miscalculated the tide. all right, was to go out to the Dungeness Lighthouse.
Nice.
It's a bit of a hike. It's over a beach. But here's the thing. High tide comes in. You better either be at the lighthouse or back at the parking lot. One or the other. And if you're at the lighthouse, you might be there all night. So timing can be a little bit of a concern and of an issue.
Just a little bit, maybe?
Just a little bit, maybe. So I went there with my daughter and we got about halfway to the lighthouse and we started to realize tide was coming in. And maybe we ought to start hoofing it back.
Yeah, tide
Yeah.
is an issue.
So there's that. Okay. So, but anyway, regardless of what it is you want to do, there will always be something for everybody. But I think being honest with yourself on why you're going someplace really is the key to whether or not you enjoy yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Doesn't matter what type it is. You have to want something that type of event can offer you. Yeah. And look, I'm never going to say don't go to a convention because
Oh, I'm never going to say it either. Okay.
because look, if lots of people give you the screaming heebie-jeebies, go to the smaller ones. There's not as many, there's not huge crowds. You're going to get more personalized. Well, a good vendor is going to give you personalized attention no matter the size of the show, but you might get more attention if there's a little less people there. It's hard to say.
Okay.
Now, we have one more commercial to go to, and I have a question for you that you're just going to have to be in suspense on, because I feel like we just did our commercial, but we're also fast running up on our hour. So I'm going to play our last commercial and then put you in the hot seat.
I love being a house call groomer, but I hate doing laundry or worrying about asking my clients for fresh towels. Raypet has solved those problems for me with the Wet Pet disposable towel, taking up much less space than traditional cotton towels and easy to wring out and reuse. These super soft, comfy, absorbent towels eliminate any cross-contamination concerns between pets. And now their new smaller washcloth size can even help those sensitive eye areas. Great for cleaning out wrinkles gently and thoroughly. Need to keep water bowls for your clients on hand that are easy to disinfect, but hate all the room traditional clanky metal bowls take up? Or just have a very active pet? Their collapsible silicone bowl comes with an aluminum D-ring hook that can be attached to your pet's leash or anywhere else in your van for easy storage. You can get one by itself or in their handy travel kit, along with a set of 3 tick removers and 1 small wet pet towel. So stop by their website to check it out, raypet.net, and tell them the Traveling Groomer sent you.
All right, Mary in the hot seat. What were you going to say?
I don't know. I'm waiting for my question.
Okay, so you want to host a retreat.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that this is a Traveling Groomers, we're doing this together retreat.
For the mobile grooming one, yes.
For the mobile grooming one. So, that implies multiple retreats.
That implies multiple retreats, but go ahead.
So what I want to know is, what type of retreat do you see it as being?
Okay. What I see it, like I said, what I see it is there for a purpose. Okay. So people come in and it's hands-on. Okay. So it's not, it's not, what's the word I want to use? It's not seminar style. All right. So you're not
Okay.
going to sit and listen to somebody. Yeah, you're sitting and listening to somebody, but it's putting something in your hands to do something. Right.
Okay.
So-
So some type of hands-on, even if it's not like a hands-on grooming thing.
Yeah. And I think that would not something I would ever do, but hosting, I don't know, like a poodle retreat is something that people ought to think, but you're there to actually have multiple poodles, bring your own poodle, whatever, so that you're actually grooming the pet. All right. I think that would be an awesome retreat, but that's not something I'm going to do because, I don't do that. However,
As we discussed, and now I'm obsessed.
okay. But so let's just say a mobile grooming one. All right. So that might be creating intake forms, policy and procedures, and might be working on routing, pricing, how to price. So something where you have to, like, if we're working on pricing, that's going to entail you need to know how much you're spending on your books, on your things. So you would have to bring like your financials with you. So that,
I want there to be, as a thing in a retreat, where you have to notify your customers of a price increase, but you do it there. So everybody's like, yeah, you can do it. So you get the
Yeah,
feedback
but that's
there.
exactly that is what I envision for
Text a
something
bunch of
along
people.
those natures, is that you're doing something, you're completing something. You're just not listening and taking the knowledge home with you. You are creating something there. So there's that creation factor. All right. So the other one that I want to do is a speaker workshop retreat, where at the end of that, you have a completed workshop.
That's a good one too.
And there could be other things, but those are the two that come to my mind right at the top of my head. And you know what? And then we'll go from there.
How happy are you now that I know that you're really looking at holding multiple retreats? How happy are you that I found something in your backyard?
Very happy, because if this place works out, and I won't know until I get there, all right, then you know what, it makes it easy. Like I said, it looks like they only have 6 bedrooms, but that's fine. Like I said, I live 15 minutes away. I don't have to stay there.
And people could double up if they chose.
But that's a choice.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You don't have to. And then, yeah. By the way, digression time. I was pondering the other day, what the hell did we do before Google, before we had this in our pockets? And
Oh my God.
my brain immediately went to this particular moment in college. And I thought, and I relived that moment in my head, and I went, before we had Google in our pockets, people would just say absurd, wrong shit, and we couldn't necessarily disprove them, even though we knew they were stupid and wrong. And we just had to sit there and be like, huh, and swallow that feeling of you're a fucking moron.
Okay. Or the
Mike.
option was to go to the library.
Yes, but that doesn't help you in that second.
No, it doesn't.
That
Unless
doesn't
you're like,
help you.
you know what?
If you're
We're all gonna get in the car and we're gonna go over to the library, because it's probably not walkable, and we're gonna go to the card catalog and we're gonna look up this information. Yeah, that did not happen.
no, especially if you're planning that medieval thing at college and you're saying that your character is Welsh, and the dumbass is like, well, Wales at this time were basically with clubs and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, what kind of racist bullshit is this? Anti-Wales nonsense. And you're just like, doesn't help you in that moment. Strangle that person.
Was it a guy?
Of course it was a guy.
Yes.
Fucking. Should I just say his name? What are the chances that there's any crossover besides my husband who would know this person, who would call me out?
I'm okay with it.
I'm like, okay, if anyone actually knows Mike Kogan, who listens to this and is a groomer, yes, he pulled some BS at the Drew That Medieval thing. I'm just saying.
All right. So he mansplained something to you.
And also, if you've met him, you would not be surprised that Kogan mansplained anything. Also, just saying. Wow, I feel a little petty, but amused. Anyway.
Okay.
That really did go to East Cupcake.
Seriously, is he on your friends list?
No.
Is he on your
Ew.
husband's friends list?
No.
Okay, so then it's
Ew.
unlikely he's gonna know this exists.
Oh. I don't know if there's any kind of, anyway. But still, the chances of even people I know from college who are on my friends list who might know this exists, I doubt they listen because they are not in the grooming industry.
Okay,
Anywho, this is why, like, while I drink, this is why I try not to drink to get drunk or do drugs, because I have enough of a filter issue, stone cold sober, like maybe just a little tired. Yeah.
okay.
All right. Where the hell were we?
I'm saying goodbye.
What type of retreats you wanted to do? Okay. All
So we
right. So
can-
guys, yeah, you heard it here. Well, not quite first, because we've been talking about it doing a retreat for 2 years now.
Yeah. So, but I finally decided, you know what? Figuring out, again, this is being honest with yourself on why you're not doing something or why something doesn't appeal to you. And I think when I realized that, you know what, I would really like to do this, but I don't want to do it at an Airbnb. And it's like, well, that thing in the back of my head that goes, well, who the hell said you had to do it at an Airbnb?
There are retreat centers. There are places that host corporate retreats. And now I just did a search strictly with the word ranch in it. And I just did a ranch retreat in your gorgeous, beautiful part of the world. I'm sure there are other places too. So you have
There
more than
probably
one
is
option.
too. But part of that, the ground sale looks a little bit familiar. So I'm wondering if it's actually part of like the back end of this restaurant I go to occasionally that is like this farm to table restaurant.
Mm. Nice.
So
Very nice.
anyway,
Anyway, on that note, guys, thank you for joining us and safe travels.
Well, that was fun, but now it's time to head home. We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed chatting with you. If there are any topics you'd like us to discuss or guests you want to see join us on this crazy road trip of ours, let us know in the Traveling Groomers Facebook page. Don't forget to thank our sponsors and see you next week, guys. Safe travels.